Mr. Justin Trudeau, it cannot have been easy being made to announce your resignation by your very own party. But I'm sure you saw it coming. It was coming for a long time now, wasn't it? Now, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not gloating over your decision. As a journalist, I understand that politics is often turbulent and political careers always have ups and downs. But as an Indian and an Indian journalist who your government listed in a report on foreign interference only 3 months ago, you must allow me to analyze how things have come to this pass for you. You may agree or disagree, but this is my view. Let's make no mistake. Your intent, Mr. Trudeau, to resign marks the culmination of a politically tumultuous period that has eroded what was once your sterling image both at home and abroad, even and particularly here in India. One of the most glaring aspects of your recent tenure was the handling of relations with my country, India. Your public accusation in September 2023 that the Indian government was involved in the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar led to a diplomatic firestorm that continues even now. India's government not only denied the allegations, but responded with sharp retaliatory measures, which I'm sure you expected, including expelling your diplomats and halting trade talks, something that most certainly damaged your country as it did damage ours. This failure to substantiate your claims has left Canada's international standing in question and your leadership under a great deal of scrutiny. Critics argue that this approach by you jeopardized Canada's strategic relationships for domestic political gains, particularly among the Sikh diaspora. In effect, you endangered the lives and livelihoods of thousands, maybe millions, for narrow near-term political ends, and see how that ended up. You've had to resign. Your campaign against India now stands demolished. Your inability to present evidence for these accusations has severely eroded Canada's credibility on the global stage. You're stepping down, but Canada will continue to carry the can for your cavalier and irresponsible politics. What began as a high-stakes gamble to shore up domestic political support in Canada ended in a diplomatic debacle that alienated a key economic and geopolitical partner, my country. It exposed your leadership as reactive and poorly calculated, leaving Canada isolated at a time when international alliances are more crucial than ever. This episode followed years of frosty relations between your government and India, dating back to your controversial 2018 visit, which was marred by accusations of pandering and a photo scandal involving a convicted terrorist. Together, these incidents highlight a pattern of mismanagement, not reading the room in foreign affairs, that has significantly undermined Canada's reputation. Closer to home in your country, your relationship with former US President Donald Trump and incoming US President Donald Trump has been fraught with tension and public humiliation. Trump's open disdain for you became infamous, most notably during the 2019 NATO summit when he was caught on a hot mic mocking you in front of you. And now the incoming President of the United States lampoons you every single day on social media, and you've just had to sit there and take it. This dynamic, thanks to you as leader, has exposed Canada, a great country beyond any doubt, to vulnerabilities in its trade and security relationships with its most important ally, the United States. Your inability to navigate this relationship effectively, whether through confrontation or conciliation, underscored the diplomatic shortcomings of your personal leadership, because you are the boss. On the domestic front, your Liberal Party faced growing criticism for its handling of key issues: housing, affordability, inflation, environmental policy. When this new year dawned, it had become clear that your leadership was no longer an asset but a liability, especially with Chinese interference, even as you continued to obsess with Indian journalists and their interference. Your departure appears less like a choice and more like a necessity to salvage your party's prospects in the next election later this year. In the end, your resignation is not just the conclusion of a difficult chapter for your career, but a sobering reminder of how quickly political fortunes can change. From a global darling to a leader marred by controversy, your tenure serves as a case study in the perils of high expectations and the unforgiving nature of modern politics. We wish you the very best in your next steps. Well, speaking of Trudeau, US President-elect Donald Trump has trolled Justin Trudeau again just minutes after he announced his intention to resign. Well, this time Trump, in a social media post, offered Canada once again a chance to merge geographically with the United States. In another social media post, Donald Trump also offered Greenland the opportunity to merge with the United States. This is not the first time Trump has openly asked for this kind of thing. Take a look.
Donald Trump's goal number one is expansion of the United States. US President-elect Donald Trump reignites merge with the US drive for Canada. Moments after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation, Trump mocked in a social media post offering Canada once again the option to merge with the United States. Trump renewed his offer and said there will be no tariffs if Canada and US merge, claiming many in Canada love being the 51st state.
I think Trump said it mostly just to mess with Justin Trudeau because over the last few years when Donald Trump wasn't the president, Trudeau, thinking that Donald Trump wasn't going to come back, has used Trump's name as basically an insult for all of his political opponents. He's been extremely cutting towards Trump. And then so since Trump's come back, I think he's just been having a field day mocking Trudeau, especially seeing how bad Trudeau was doing in the polls. I don't think there's really that many Canadians who want to join the U.S., but I think there's a lot of Canadians that enjoy the jokes being made at Trudeau's expense by Donald Trump.
This is not for the first time Trump has openly asked for a merger. He had earlier called Justin Trudeau governor of the great state of Canada. In December, Donald Trump had also posted an AI image of himself posing with the Canadian flag. In another social media post, Trump also offered Denmark-controlled Greenland to merge with the US, even vowing to protect and cherish Greenland if it becomes a part of America. Trump has been eyeing to wrest Greenland from Denmark control for long.
Well, a lot of things could be done. I mean, essentially, it's a large real estate deal. A lot of things could be done. It's hurting Denmark very badly because they're losing almost $700 million a year carrying it. So they carry it at a great loss. And strategically for the United States, it would be nice. And we're a big ally of Denmark, and we help Denmark, and we protect Denmark, and we will.
Greenland boasts mineral, oil and natural gas wealth, but development has been slow, leaving its economy in trouble.
Here in Greenland, we need to have some growth. We need to have some economic growth and diversify our economy. And of course, we welcome our strong partners, like-minded nations as first. But if they don't invest, there's a lot of companies who also want to invest in this country.
Donald Trump is all set to assume office on January 20th. With Canada's crisis and Denmark's fragile economy, all eyes are on Trump's next move. Bureau Report, India Today.
Gaurav Sawant, who tracks international relations and especially the incoming Trump Sarkar very closely, is live with me. Gaurav, what are you making of these rather dramatic statements and posts by Donald Trump about Canada and Greenland merging with the United States?
Shiv, these are very significant statements. While some may want to pass them off as Trump mocking Justin Trudeau, but it's much more than that. There is tremendous strategic significance of every statement that Donald Trump, is making. He may be testing waters, but look at the way the strategic community is looking at the issue of Greenland, for example. The United States is late to the party when it comes to either one, exploration, or two, control of the Arctic region. That is where Russia and China have made deep inroads. China's already talking about the polar Silk Route at a time when China's northernmost tip is about 1,400 kilometers away from the Arctic Circle, and yet China's talking about the northern, the polar Silk Route, which will reduce the distance, the sea route from Asia to the United States of America. So it's very significant. Also keep in mind, as the polar ice melts, so you have vast amount of water. You have territory, you have islands, you have, and who controls those islands, and 200 nautical miles areas from those islands, untapped gas resources, oil resources. So this is a war for resources, and owning Greenland or controlling Greenland will have a very significant role there. Again with Canada, for protection again of this region where Russia is making inroads. If Canada and the United States have a closer treaty, then it's or a one, as Trump mockingly puts it, then America gains major inroads in the polar region. The
Amazing.
third country, the third area is the Panama, region that the country that he's talking about, and the canal that passes there, the tariff that is being charged from U.S. ships. Trump is very unhappy about that. He also wants to ensure that Chinese influence in that region is also curtailed as much as possible. So very, very significant statements. It may be mocked at right now, but the implications are major in times to come.
Okay, so it's not just the usual bombast from Trump. There is a strategic implication to what he's talking about, like you just heard Gaurav say, and you'll hear more about that at 10 p.m. on India First with Gaurav as well. Meanwhile, it's Elon Musk versus Europe. That's right, the new owner of Twitter has been going all guns blazing on social media against key leaders of European countries. And he has now retorted to meddler-in-chief allegations from some of those countries. The Tesla CEO and member of Trump's Department of Government Efficiency has hit back, for instance, at President from France, Emmanuel Macron, who accused Musk of using his social media platform Twitter, or X, to directly intervene in elections and political systems across the globe. They're accusing him of being a meddler on a power trip. In reference to Macron's taunt, Musk brought up UK Prime Minister Starmer for using the British Labour Party members to campaign against Trump. Then he hit back with George Soros and Bill Gates references. The Trump advisor says Soros fundamentally hates humanity and is eroding civilizational fabric, while Musk also reposted a tweet on X calling out fellow billionaire Bill Gates for attempts to influence elections.
I mean, Soros actually, he is, I believe, the top contributor to the Democratic Party. The second one was Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah. So, and Soros, I don't know. I mean, he had a very difficult upbringing, in my opinion, he fundamentally hates humanity. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, well, he's doing things that erode the fabric of civilization. Getting DAs elected who refuse to prosecute crime. That's part of the problem in San Francisco and LA and a bunch of other cities. So why would you do that?
Was it humanity, or is it just the United States as a whole? I mean,
he's pushing things in other countries too, not just here.
He's doing the same thing?
Yeah. Now, George at this point is pretty old. I mean, he's not, he's basically a bit senile at this point. But I mean, he's very smart, and he's very good at arbitrage. Famously, he shorted the British pound. That's sort of how I think he made his first money, was shorting the pound. So he's good at spotting, basically arbitrage, like spotting value for money that other people don't see. So one of the things he noticed was that that the value for money in local races is much higher than it is in national races. So the lowest value for money is a presidential race. Then next lowest value for money is a Senate race, then a Congress, and but once you get to sort of city and state district attorneys, the value for money is extremely good. And Soros realized that you don't actually need to change the laws, you just need to change how they're enforced. If nobody chooses to enforce the law, or the laws are differentially enforced, it's like changing the laws.
So is Elon Musk the new meddler-in-chief, as Macron and others are calling him? There's this growing criticism of Musk in Europe for understandable reasons. Musk is hitting back, says Starmer interfered by sending Labour Party members to campaign in the United States. Is the world's richest man waging a war against some of the world's most powerful politicians in Europe? Take a look.
After the US elections, Elon Musk has his eyes set on the UK. The owner of X and the richest man in the world has called for King Charles to dissolve the UK Parliament and has been attacking the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, over the grooming gang scandal. Musk says Starmer was deeply complicit in the mass rapes in exchange for votes.
I don't really have any comment on the particular comment that was made this morning by Musk. Thank you.
It's not just the UK. In December, Musk publicly endorsed the far-right political party, Alternative for Germany, ahead of the country's snap elections scheduled for February 2025. Musk criticized German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, calling him a fool.
As social democrats, we have been used to rich media entrepreneurs disagreeing with the Social Democratic Party since the 19th century. This is nothing new. What is certainly new is the fact that it is a global media entrepreneur. What is certainly new is the fact that with algorithms, it is not certain how opinion is formed, which is organized by the structures of these systems. That is an issue, but not the decisive one. The decisive factor is that Mr. Musk has supported a party that is partly right-wing extremist and, as we can see, is not only active in this direction in this country. And that's something we don't just disagree with. I reject that.
In response to the backlash, Musk defended his comments by stating that he had significant investments in Germany, implying that he had a vested interest in the country's political direction. In the latest, Musk has been accused of election interference by French President Emmanuel Macron too.
Who would have thought if we had been told the owner of one of the largest social media networks in the world would support the new international reactionary movement and intervene directly in elections?
Being called the meddler-in-chief, Musk's comments have raised questions about the role of tech billionaires in influencing foreign elections and sparked discussions about regulating major internet platforms to prevent similar occurrences in the future. Bureau Report, India Today.
That's it on 5 Live. Thanks for watching. 6 p.m. Prime with Akshita is up next. The Election Commission has just made its most detailed and comprehensive defense of EVMs after 2 election cycles where the EVM has come under unprecedented attack by opposition parties who've been demolished in those elections. Must watch.